Welcome aboard, Patriots Nation. This is Patriots Clubhouse presents the MayeFlower Voyage. And today is not just a regular preview show. This is the AFC Championship pregame show. Winner goes to the Super Bowl. Patriots at Broncos tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern in Denver. The altitude, the noise, the moment, all of it matters. Gentlemen, like a quick line, like how are you feeling right now as a Patriots fan? I'll start with you, Dow.
I want to say I'm excited, but if I want to go personally, I'm going to say I'm feeling like shit. But as a Patriots fan, I'm so excited. I'm ready for the debates to end. I'm ready for the allegations of the easy schedule to end. I am so ready to continue with this defensive gauntlet. As we know, we're going up against the second best defense in the league, and whoever wins that matchup will face either Seattle or LA, and I'm so ready.
Definitely. How about you, Andy?
That's a good question, Austin. I gotta say surprised. I was one of those fans, and I'm sure many of us didn't look. Or didn't go back to the beginning of this season and think, oh yeah, Pats AFC Championship game. I thought, okay, look at all these quarterbacks. You got Josh Allen, you got Pat Mahomes, you got Lamar Jackson. I love Drake May, but like playoffs, let alone championship game, no way, Jose. 9 wins tops, and here we are. In Denver, it's that's a white whale, as both of you know, for the Pats in the playoffs. We're 0-4 there. But I think there's a mystique around these Vrabel May Patriots that people just don't understand and have not cracked. And we're seeing it in the national media, to a lesser extent, even in some of the local media. But yeah, I think it's going to be It's definitely going to be an exciting matchup. Denver does have some key players out. Obviously, Bo Nix. We know Jarrett Stidham. And there, what was that wide receiver, Austin, you said was out? Or is Franklin playing?
Franklin's up in the air right now, as far as I know, because they had to elevate Elijah Moore.
Oh, they elevated Moore. Okay.
Some other receiver that I have no clue who they are. They both got activated.
Pat Bryant? Or Marcus?
No. It's a totally I don't know who. I've never heard of them. But they both got.
So it's not someone, it's not Mims, it's someone else.
Yeah, but both of those guys basically got elevated, so that guarantees that. To me, at least, that feels like it guarantees Troy Franklin's not going to play. But I could be wrong. But yeah, he's with a nagging hamstring all week at work. But I'll let you continue, Andy. Didn't want to cut you off.
But yeah, sorry about that. No, Austin, you're good. I'm just I think this game, it should be a fun game. The problem is, somebody posted this on Discord the other day. The Pats win, they beat another depleted team. The Broncos win. Oh, see, I told you the Pats had an easy schedule. It's it's damned if you do, damned if you don't. I feel with so much of the national media, but a team should take what they have and run with it, and that's what these Vrabel May Pats have done all year, and that is hopefully what they will continue to do tomorrow afternoon in Mile High City.
Yeah, definitely. I don't know. I'm super excited right now. I feel like a little schoolgirl or something playing with their hair that has a crush or some shit. I don't know. I can't stop watching Patriots stuff. I can't stop looking over Patriots Twitter, Broncos Twitter, just seeing both sides, seeing all the different analysts. It just feels like we're back. We're actually back to the glory days with Brady. And at this point, we all want a Super Bowl, but we also understand no matter what, this season was a huge success. It's going to draw in free agents. It's going to everybody's going to want to play here, I hope. And everybody's going to want to believe in what Vrabel has going. And it'll be interesting to see what next year's roster has to hold. But I don't even want to think about that. I want us to freaking go into, Mile High Stadium and push the elevation aside and just get a win.
This is gonna be like last year's Commanders, who, by the way, they didn't make the Super Bowl, but it was like, oh, look at Jaden Daniels and what he's doing with these receivers, and I heard very little knocking of that Commanders season in 24 and 25, and that schedule wasn't hugely difficult. But it was like, oh yeah, look at rookie Jaden Daniels, and look at
Yeah, that's the insane thing to me too. Is like all these people want to discredit May for like, oh, easy schedule, all this. Like, I wouldn't necessarily say. I would say Jaden had a more impressive playoffs. I think it's kind of similar to May, where like you saw the regular season and you saw everything they did in the offseason. Like we pretty much kind of replicated that. I wouldn't say we went as old player wise, because I definitely feel the Broncos are really feeling that age right now. But we kind of went with that same concept of like, we understand we don't have the people in the building right now to get what we need done. We got to go out there. We got to bring in people. We got to coach up the people we have already that we want to keep. Then we got to draft some players that we know we can mold into who we need. And yeah, it's just been incredible. But yeah, like both their paths have been very similar, where regular season's kind of like you see flashes. But yeah, Jaden definitely was the more prepared quarterback. I think everybody knew that, which is why I don't like that slight against Drake May or a Bo Nix or Caleb. Well, maybe Bo Nix, I don't know, but just those younger quarterbacks that don't have as much experience as Jaden. And yeah, so.
And it was just like you heard everybody say Drake May was the most raw quarterback prospect in that 2024 draft class. So, and I know there was chatter like I didn't want Drake May. I had my fingers crossed that Washington were going to take him. Obviously, they didn't. But here we are with Drake May, and it's like, okay, it was almost like that quarterback is not going to lead a team to the playoffs. You saw that feeling in 2024. You saw that feeling this year. And it's almost like there's just like, I want to call it this coping in the national media, because there was this fawning over Jaden Daniels. There was this fawning over Bo Nix. There was this fawning over this season, Caleb Williams. And Drake May he got it from some in the media, but not to the extent the other three did, not even close.
Yeah, and it's like the Broncos have the second easiest schedule. Everybody loves to just disregard that, not even put it into any of the talking points, make it a big deal.
I have a coworker who said, and he was ticked about that exact thing. Nobody mentions what an easy schedule the Broncos had, A. And B, when they came up against like a genuine playoff team, they lost. They lost to Jacksonville. They lost to, they lost
to Indianapolis.
They lost to Indianapolis. Did they drop?
They lost to the Chargers.
That's what I thought.
And the thing with the Patriots versus the Broncos comparison is that the fact that we had more success than the Broncos is because, I granted that the Broncos won their Super Bowls before the Patriots, but we won more compared to the Broncos, because what happened since Super Bowl 50? The Broncos had minimal success, and I put some of the blame on John Elway, the great John Elway.
Fair. Yep.
And not to mention, who was their quarterback, their franchise quarterback since Peyton Manning? You had like Brock Osweiler, Paxton Lynch, Simeon. You had Drew.
They had Russ for a year or two.
Tebow. Yeah, there's
up until they got Sean Payne, and I would compare the Denver Broncos to the New Orleans Saints, I would say, but I wouldn't be entirely I wouldn't compare the Broncos to the New Orleans Saints, just because you have Sean Payne and because they have a quarterback who's I would not compare Bo Nix to Drew Brees. And I know that Bo Nix is not going to be available, but there will be allegations that Jarrett Stidham will be the next Nick Foles, and we hear that same old story. But by the way, guys, if you haven't already, and you should do so, please make sure that you hit the thumbs up button and that you are subscribed to this channel. It's the best way to help us support the channel. And you can do so further to join the Patriots Clubhouse Discord in the top right corner. Or you can do so by clicking the link down below. And then as you're doing that, please, throughout the entire show, participate, make your predictions, player of the game, score predictions, whatever you want. But yeah, we're going to have a fun show. And by the way, going back to the conversation, there will be a lot of excuses if the Patriots were to win just because of our dominant dynasty that we had for like almost 2 decades. And
right. It's going to be we don't. It's going to be we don't. This is the last team we want to see back, and we're coping. And it's like, I said at the beginning of this season, I mean, I didn't think it would be this year, but I thought it definitely at some point it's going to be, oh, crap. We let that team get Mike Vrabel. And I mean, he is the one I'm crediting more than Josh McDaniels. It's nip and tuck between him and Drake May for me, with McDaniels third.
But I want to say that I want to huge shout out to Vrabel in the sense that he played the best game. Granted that Titans were dumb enough to let Mike Vrabel go. That's their mistake. But what makes it even more funnier is that when the Jets, and I'm mentioning the Jets, when they fired Robert Saleh, they conducted interviews, head coaching interviews. Mike Vrabel was one of the head coaching interviews. It prompted Mr. Kraft, or RKK, to fire Jerod Mayo, knowing how south that season would go.
Right. Yeah.
And he played that perfect chess match.
He's like, I played chess. The rest of the league plays chess. I can't, if I don't can Jerod now, they get Vrabel. That's exactly what he did.
Yeah, definitely. It's interesting again to look back at where we were, and for Kraft, like again, I think it all goes back to Kraft just having the cojones to be like, yeah, Mayo, you're done. And we get Vrabel as a result. Because if you look at now, with all the head coaching vacancies and all these, veteran coaches finding jobs now, where you have a Mike McCarthy going to the Steelers, you have a Robert Saleh going to the Titans, you have a Harbaugh going to the Giants. Like, it's these big, big names. And you can't help but wonder, like, man, if we didn't, get rid of Mayo, are we also not only like are we in the same situation of another 4-13 season, but it's like, are we missing out on Vrabel now because now we're firing Jerod Mayo, but he had a chance to interview with, I don't know all the jobs out there, but let's say he got with the Giants. Like, you never know. So yeah, I commend Kraft for that a bunch.
Yeah, knowing how big that coaching the coaching search is, like, imagine if we didn't take advantage of the available coaches right now, we wouldn't have our shot. And plus, if we still kept Jerod Mayo, most of that coaching staff would have been retained. We would have never had the same draft picks that we would have compared to this year, or get the attraction of free agents that we want. Because granted that, yes, we do have the amount of cap space, no free agent would want to go to New England because of Jerod Mayo. The only reason they would come because of Mike Vrabel and because of the coaching staff. They would still retain the same coaching staff. It will still be the second half of that good old Belichick, post-Belichick era, but even worse. Like, thank God Robert Kraft pulled the trigger of letting Jerod Mayo go. I know. And that was the same day where I got sick. So I'm like, it was completely worth it.
Wow. But yeah, it's like, and now it's like this whole crap going on in Buffalo. Like, why did you fire the head coach when it's really the GM making these calls on, like drafting Keon Coleman? And I want to say that to Pats fans who are blaming Kraft. It's like, no, he's so cheap. Well, no, he didn't really make the ultimate call to ship Brady out. Belichick did, because he thought he was washed. And Kraft didn't make Kraft didn't, do stupid shit with good players and draft shitty players. It's like, no, that is the GM, not the owner. And you're seeing that in Buffalo right now. It's like, if fan
Also
base
the
is like,
owner.
what was that?
It was also the owner, because if you watch the press conference, Andy, the owner, he's as bad as Woody Johnson. Like, have you seen him like interrupting Brandon Beane? And what's even worse, he leaked some of like the behind the scenes drama that has been going on with Brandon Beane and Sean McDermott. And I'm like, this is why Buffalo Bill will not be an attractive destination for head coaches.
The Bills, I mean, I took my comment down last night that said, oh God, please let them lose Josh Allen. I'm not saying that's in the cards for this season, but I mean that organization now is looking like such a crap show. I mean, they're almost making that's almost making Belichick's later years here look good, and that's speaking volumes. I mean, the mismanagement there is laughable. I mean, really.
Yeah, there's no like this AFC East division. Like, we all know it was going to be Buffalo's division, but because of our progress and our improvement and our recent success, it's basically the downfall for Buffalo. And there's a reason why their Super Bowl window has been officially closed. It was already closed from the get-go after we whooped their ass. Well, I wouldn't say whooped their ass. Once we ended their so-called undefeated season in week 5.
Oh, I know. It's like, I just watched a video that said, it was like, okay, here's the dynasties that, that Tom Brady did in. And, honorable mention was the Chiefs, because, I mean, without Brady, there's a chance, God forbid, Pat Mahomes would have 5 Lombardis. But it's like, yeah, I mean, the Bills, you could argue that Pats loss to the Pats in week 5 started their meltdown. I mean, they weren't by no means bad the rest of the season, and that they were an unfortunate play away from making the championship game. But yeah, the more I think about it, it's like people were talking about McDermott getting fired, but it's like that was in hindsight.
In the AFC. Like, everybody's going to talk about like Mahomes, Allen, like the 4 big dogs being the top 4, but you could see Drake May rising to be the top dog in the AFC. And speaking of Mahomes, the Chiefs did bring back Eric Bieniemy as their offensive corner, the same offensive corner who helped Patrick Mahomes become that god. I wouldn't say god, that the monster he is, but
I mentioned that they brought him back, and I forget who was said, don't worry. It might have been Tyler, who was like, oh, that he's not going to do anything for them right now. We'll see.
But I don't know how. But let's go back to the main topic that we're going to discuss.
Yeah, for sure. And before we kind of deep dive into kind of the matchups and everything, I want to just kind of discuss, this Broncos team without Bo Nix. It kind of feels like, quite frankly, if the Patriots lost Drake May, it definitely sucks. I wish we could have seen a Bo Nix versus Drake May just shootout. I think that would have made for great television. It would have been fun to see.
How great the 2024 draft class, the QB draft classes.
Yeah, if nothing else, like 2024 draft class is out of this world. I'm not with the people that are like, oh, Bo Nix isn't legit. Like, Bo Nix is a very good quarterback. Jaden Daniels, to me, has fizzled out. Like, I would probably put Bo Nix above it just because of the consistency that we've seen through 2 years. You just see everybody showing out through that class. But I wanted to focus in on, Jared Stidham, the backup. Obviously drafted to New England to kind of be Brady's successor in 2019. Then he skips OTAs to go to a wedding, gets put in Belichick's doghouse.
Oh my God.
We get Cam Newton in the building, and Stidham basically never plays another snap. Gets traded to the Raiders when McDaniels became a head coach of the Raiders, and then now obviously ends up on the Broncos. And he's clearly a coveted backup and kind of knows like what he's doing. And I have no doubt he's going to be prepared for tomorrow. But what are you guys' thoughts on, maybe the media blowing up Jarrett Stidham, or do you believe the hype? Do you think he's going to be a solid quarterback, or do you think he's just in for his worst game he's ever played just because it's such a late start?
Andy,
I'll start with you, Andy.
All right, differing opinions here I can see already. I really wanted Jarrett Stidham to be our starting quarterback after Tom Brady. I saw flashes, and when he when he was Brady's backup in 2019, it was like, okay, here's our next quarterback. And then, the next thing I know, it's like, okay, Belichick throws him in the doghouse for a stupid reason. He's want to do in comes Cam Newton, and the rest is history. I think that was one of the many mistakes that Belichick made. I mean, obviously, we now have Drake May, who's yes, there is a big gap between May and Stidham, I believe, but Tyler has been saying Stidham is the best backup in the NFL, and he could easily be a starting quarterback in my book. I mean, the guy, I don't have his record right in front of me, but if I were to go into the Discord for Jarrett Stidham, exactly.
Let me look him. You can keep talking. I'll look him up.
But I think, obviously he doesn't. Like, honestly, I give the receiving core in New England now a slight edge over the Broncos, and I think there is a clear advantage at quarterback, but Stidham, the thing is, if you open up the game for Jarrett Stidham, and I think Sean Payton can do that, he can be a really lethal quarterback, and we saw hints of that here, and we saw hints of that under McDaniels in Vegas.
By the way,
go ahead.
His starting record throughout his entire career has been 1-3, 0-2 with Las Vegas, 1-1 during his first season with Denver.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much for that. But yeah, I do think Sean Payton will have him ready to roll tomorrow, and I'm not saying the Pats defense will have a huge task on their hands, but I think it's, gonna be, I think it could be better significantly better, actually, than Justin Herbert with a bum hand or CJ Stroud just having gone from offensive rookie of the year to having crumpled into a pretzel. Stid could be the best quarterback we've faced in these playoffs thus far.
Yeah, I definitely agree with a lot of those points. I would say it makes him dangerous, and that's kind of what Tyler was alluding to, where Bo Nix is kind of a really good fit for that Broncos team because of the system that Sean Payton wants to play, and because of like the receivers that help him fit his specific play style. The lack of run game doesn't seem to have been a problem because he's able to improvise, but I think a lot of the credit does go to that O-line. So that's where I would get a little scared about Stidham, is like we necessarily haven't gone against top caliber O-lines, and according to a lot of metrics, this is number one. So even if you're losing some of that scramble ability with, having to play Stidham, who I don't think Stidham's, athletic freak of nature, but he's no Aaron Rodgers statue status. Like, the dude can still scramble, he can run. It's just not going to be to the efficiency levels of Bo Nix. But it's definitely that O-line that scares me. Is there anything else that maybe scares you now about this matchup going in Sunday tomorrow?
Whether it's outside of the offensive line, well, I'm more scared about this defensive line, but going back to the offense, I'm reading some metrics that Jarrett Stidham during the preseason, he was second in the passing grade of a 90.0, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions ratio, and was second in pass rating. However, when it was under pressure, which I think the Patriots should do, up against I think the best offensive line ever, because the Texans and the Chargers were both paper maches. So this all-pro offensive line with Garrett Bowles, Mike McGlinchey, Quinn Mires, and then the starting centers who replaced Cushenberry, who's now with the Tennessee Titans. This offensive line, they're ranked number 1 in pass blocking, 3rd in run blocking, fewest sacks, and fewest pressures allowed. That's really impressive. However,
Garrett Bowles, sorry to cut you off. Wasn't Garrett Bowles out? Did I hear that wrong?
No, Garrett Bowles is not out.
He's not. Weird. Okay, all right, cool.
However, the only way that the Patriots could take advantage of their offense is not so much the offensive line, it's more have to do with coverage, because the pass catchers have the second most drops this season of 41 and rank second highest in drop rate of a 6.5%. So our secondary needs to take advantage in coverage to make sure that Jarrett Stidham can see ghosts like we've done to several quarterbacks, whether they're like start young or backup. So we got to do that. But the biggest question is going to be Drake May against the defense. Everybody will be talking about Drake May against this defense and see if Drake May can limit the turnovers and if the left side of the offensive line can get it together and win that turnover, and we win the turnover margin. That's the most important thing.
Yeah, I think for both these teams, it's going to be important for their game plans to really get out to a fast start. I have in both my notes that the Patriots' key to the win is to get a really fast start, force Denver, aka Stidham, to have to throw the ball more downfield, make throws maybe he wouldn't typically make just because they're in that sort of position playing from behind. And I have it kind of the same with the Broncos. Like if they're able to start fast, we haven't really seen Drake May have to play from behind much this year, or really, double digits. Like if we said Bo Nix was playing and we said the Patriots had a 2-touchdown lead going into the fourth quarter, would you guys be okay, or would you guys be sweating because damn, that's Bo Nix? Like he's proven repeatedly that he can come back in those types of games versus Drake. I don't personally believe it, but I think it's a worthy enough conversation to have. I don't know what your thoughts are on that, Andy.
Yeah. Wait. Sorry. Say that. So the beginning of that part again. Sorry. My bad. I was reading something.
Yeah, I was just kind of like hypothetical, where it's like if we were going into the fourth quarter and we had a lead and Bo Nix was playing, we definitely feel a lot more scared that maybe he'd be able to pull off some magic than we are with Stidham. So I was just asking your opinion on that real quick.
Yeah, I think, if we go, let me put it this way. If we score early, say we take the ball or they defer and we score a touchdown on the first drive, that takes, the crowd goes silent. And, if we know Vrabel, he can tone set from there. But yeah, if we're headed into the fourth quarter, Bo Nix, Dow, I know you like to call him Bo Picks.
Mo Picks, if you watch a lot of urinating tree, or somebody like to call him Boo Nix.
I do think that, there was a chance if he were playing, we could get a pick off of him if he tried to come back, but I'm not going to go there. But yeah, if we have say a 7-10 point fourth quarter lead, I'm not worried about Stid coming back with that pass, with that receiving core.
No, definitely not. I feel like our defense is at our best when the offense is at their worst, where It's like the other team's offense has to try and pull out some wacky plays or whatnot. I feel we thrive on broken plays. It feels like we're always taking advantage. And that's something that Vrabel preached from the second he got hired, is like, we're going to take advantage of bad football. We're going to get rid of entitlement from this football team. We're going to build the trenches. we're going to play for winning the division to play for championships, play for each other. And then I really like that whole segment Rabel said about it's like the 4 H's is like heroes, hopes. I can't remember them all, but yeah, just, I don't know, change of culture. I'm just really excited. But
Yeah.
when we take a deeper dive into this Patriots offense, obviously it seems as of late we've had to rely a bit on Drake May's, clutchness, I would say, where he's kind of looking a little at times, but granted he's played against 2 of the top 5 defenses back-to-back weeks. He's about to play his 3rd. He's made just enough great plays, I feel, to get us over the hump. But do you see that changing in Denver, Dow, with the fact that we're not going to be really battling, the weather? We're going to have relatively a whole healthy roster. Do you think we see more of a run game? Because, at the end of the Texans game, we had a run game, but it wasn't, like I said, it wasn't until the end. We had to wear them down through the pass, through a lot of different other things, and then it just completely opened the run game. I think here in this game, I'd like to see Ramondre just take over, but I don't know what your thoughts are, Dow.
I do know that I could see our running backs being more utilized in the passing game besides the run game, because I don't know if I checked the stat properly that if they're good against running backs in the passing game, because I feel like that they can be good. Like, I know we all know PS2 is good against top tier wide receivers, but I know Andy mentions this, like, if Drake May wants to do well, he has to go target the weakling, and also having to survive against 2 All-Pros and Nick Benito and Zach Allen. But the biggest weakness is Riley Moss, because Riley Moss, he's the biggest weakling when it comes to coverage, when it comes to how many touchdowns allowed, how many yards allowed, how many catches allowed, even though he has the most breakups. But the only way we can survive is not just because of the how Drake May can do well. It's also how disciplined we're going to be, because discipline will play a huge part in this game, because Riley Moss is the most and Patrick Surtain both rank inside the top 6 for most penalties allowed. So we're going to have to draw a shit ton of DPIs on them in order to have advantage. But we can't let that be the talking point, because we want Drake May to improve by securing the ball, and that's been the biggest flaw in the last 2 weeks, because unfortunately we saw a lot of strip sacks. I get it, the INTs, they were meaningless, but I'm more scared of like the fumbles and the strip sacks. Those are the ones where I'm a little scared of, because the left side is where I'm a little scared of, especially with Will Campbell, who's recovering from an MLC.
MCL.
Well,
Close. It's all good,
thank
man.
God
It's all
I am
good.
not in at medical school. Thank God.
No, definitely. I think from when I was doing my research, the Broncos defense is actually most susceptible to tight ends. So I'd like to see a big game out of Hunter Henry
or Austin
Hooper. Yeah, jinx. But yeah, like Hunter Henry, Austin Hooper, like they've been kind of quiet these past 2 games. I know Henry had the 1 touchdown. Outside of that, didn't really see him. In this past game against the Texans, he had the 1 quick dump off for like 4 yards before getting wrapped up. It would be nice to see Hunter Henry kind of take control of this game. I do think the Broncos defense can be scary, but I don't know if I buy into all these metrics where, like, if you look at the stats, the Broncos defense has completely fallen off since the bye week that they had in week 13. It's like all these people are hyping up number 1 O-line, top pass rush, top corners. And I just keep looking at them like, I don't know, they're letting up 30 points to the Bills in a playoff game that which is crazy because if you think about it, 5 turnovers and the Bills nearly win it in overtime.
Correct. Yeah, I mean that's why I look at this and it's like, oh geez, I was going back and forth. It's like, okay, do I want to be at the Broncos or versus Josh Allen? And I weigh those two teams. It's like, okay, with the Broncos, it's like, yeah, playing at Mile High is always a problem, but yeah, we've got the pass catchers, we've got the quarterback, the defenses. I've heard people, they're not. Oh, the defenses aren't very evenly matched. I actually think the defenses are quite evenly matched. The Bills, this was the worst Bills team since they became good, since they started owning the AFC East. And still, without that Jaquan McMillan pick, they're going to the AFC Championship game with 5 turnovers. I mean, that's what Allen is.
Yeah, funnily enough, this Bills team this year reminded me of like the Chiefs this year, to be honest. Like,
yeah,
they both didn't have stellar rosters. They both had, some older guys, or they're trying to
the 2018 Pats and the 2024 Chiefs. Exactly.
Yeah, where they're just playing over projected, and good for them. Like, they played. I mean, they were probably a lot of people's Super Bowl picks, let's be honest. No Pat Mahomes, no Joe Burrow, no Lamar Jackson. We're talking the top tier NFL quarterbacks in the AFC. You look at that and you go, oh yeah, the Bills are definitely making that. Like, I know if we were doing a whole March Madness bracket, like everyone's bracket, like 99% are probably shattered because Buffalo doesn't, get past Denver.
Right.
But again, like I'm not convinced with the Broncos offense either. Big talking point just being on social media is all the Broncos fans kind of being like, we're not going to lose a step with having Stidham in. We just took down the number 1 passing defense in the Buffalo Bills. And I'm just like, number 1 pass defense in yards, maybe, but why do you think they're number 1 in pass defense? Because they're dead last in run defense and everybody runs all over them. And just think, if the Buffalo Bills are dead last in run defense and the Broncos couldn't run on them, what does that tell you?
Right.
It just shows that J.K. Dobbins has been essential to that run game. And the fact that Dobbins is out again because he's still recovering from that injury, I don't know exactly, but you're rocking with the rookie R.J. Harvey, who he's a decent rookie running back, but he's not going to be he's not like the next, I would say the next Derrick Henry or Saquon Barkley.
Yeah, to me, like RJ Harvey, I really love that guy. Had him in fantasy this year. He's a good player. He really like takes advantage of matchups against linebackers when he has to go out for a pass. Like, he's a very great receiving back. But I look at him similarly to how we look at Trevion Henderson, where he's kind of the lightning to somebody's thunder, right? Ramondre is the thunder in our offense, and Hendo brings the lightning. Yeah. When you have RJ and you don't have that J.K. Dobbins, it's just he's missing that. He can't seem to run between the tackles. He always has to try and get something outside. If every time you're going against RJ Harvey, it's just, okay, we know this guy can only run outside or catch the ball in a dink and dunk. Like, you're going to shut that guy down every time. And I think that's where the Broncos have struggled. And that's why I think, I don't know. Me personally, I don't see this game being particularly close, but we'll get to that prediction wise, but
we'll get to that.
Insert something here. I'm another reason I'm glad Buffalo are out is James Cook alone.
Oh my gosh.
Had a $117 against the second ranked run defense in the league. It's like, yeah, I mean, those Bills get to the AFC Championship game and they're fucking scary. Now, firing McDermott, they're the joke of the NFL. It's like a little bit of schadenfreude there, but let's carry on.
Yeah, I was going
25-26 Pats very unexpectedly playing to go to the Super Bowl.
I was going to go off of Austin's comment that you need like a Batman to a Robin. I'm looking at the rest of the running back room with Dobbins out. I'm looking at Tyler Batty. I don't know who he is, but he was he was drafted by the Baltimore Ravens, and he's been with the Broncos since 2022, and he was like, meh. Then you have Jaleel McLaughlin, and he did not do much.
Jaleel McLaughlin was good. He was actually decent in 2024. Surprised to see him drop off.
He actually fumbled last game though too.
Oh, in the divisional, really?
Wow. And what would have happened if the Broncos were to retain? I forgot the guy's name. He's now with the Cowboys.
Oh, Javonte Williams, dude, their run game would be awesome right now.
Yeah, I don't know why they let Javonte Williams go for an injured J.K. Dobbins. That I did not understand. Like, if you have R.J. Harvey and Javonte Williams, that would have been disgusting. But I think that their run game is going to be awful. The pass game is also going to be awful because if Gonzo locks on Sutton and Davis locks on Mims, you got nothing because Evan Ingram is not going to be like the most impactful player in the passing game. Your only way you're going to win is because of that offensive line, and you need the defensive line to apply a shit ton of pressure on Jarrett Stidham, and that's where Stiddy falls in that category.
Yeah, definitely. I think the Broncos are going to need to implement some like hit and run tactics in the sense of they're just going to have to dink and dunk really close to the line of scrimmage to really get anywhere downfield. I don't know. I feel like the Patriots game plan is going to be to force everything in front, nothing deep, and have to have Jarrett Stidham really go through his reads and try and get the pass to where it's supposed to go. But it'll be interesting. Another thing I want to talk about is it's the return of the Mac, baby. Mac Hollins makes a return. He's going to be playing tomorrow. How much of an impact do you think that makes to what we can do in our game plan?
It's gonna mean a lot. Like, you have more of a versatility of weapons because we all know that ever since Mac Hollins was gone, Efton Chisholm has been stepping up, and I love Efton Chisholm, but I feel like you need more of a veteran presence of like how to handle the playoff experience, and Mac Hollins is a beast when it comes to the playoffs. And there's a reason why Buffalo let him go and I don't know why Buffalo let him go because Mac Hollins was essential to some of the playoff games with Buffalo, and the fact that they let him go to us, that's actually going to be essential for some playoff experience. Like Efton Chisholm, I think he's slowly getting that, but I feel like with Mac Hollins being back, he's going to take over what Chisholm did for him when Hollins was out and be impactful. But because he's coming back from an abdomen injury, I could only see him like 25% or like 30% of the snaps, just because you do not want to like give him like a shit ton of load and then, re-aggravate that injury.
Yeah, definitely. It's something that DPF said with Hollins back, the run game should be better. I do think that we've been missing having a big-bodied receiver like that out there. I will preface with saying, though, that I feel like Efton Chisholm III has done a really good job in the run game, kind of filling that role. Even Kyle Williams, who is a smaller body receiver, you see the effort plays. That Chargers game that we had where we're backed up against our goal line again, and it's like round 2 of that, and Drake May dunks it off to Ramondre, and Ramondre breaks it 50 yards. That doesn't go 50 yards if Kyle Williams doesn't have the heads-up play to block the guy who's coming down on Ramondre, right? So, yeah, it'll be huge getting Mac Hollins back.
And what's interesting is that I'm reading some of like the information from John. Huge shout out to John in the Discord. I'm reading this. Denver Broncos are probably going to have to put one of their tall QBs or CBs, excuse me, not QBs, or safeties on Mac Hollins. Mac Hollins is 6'4". Patrick Surtain is 6'2". Nobody else is shorter than Surtain. Next tallest is Talanoa Hufanga, 6 foot exactly, and Riley Moss is 6 foot. Hunter Henry is 3 inches taller than their tallest secondary piece, being 6'5". So height plays a huge factor, and there's a reason why we have Hollins back, because you have an advantage at the height, while the secondary for the Broncos, they're like smaller than them. I don't know how tall the rookie Jahdae Barron is, but I know that Jahdae Barron is not as tall as any of these guys. Like, if I were to look up, Jahdae Barron is 5'11".
Wow. Short for a corner, isn't he?
Yep.
Yeah, Marcus Jones is 5'8".
Barely tall. Barely. I'm barely taller. I'm 5'8.5". Jeez. Wow.
I feel like that's one of the matchups that'll be interesting to see. Is like you look at this Broncos offense, and I really think they're going to be without Troy Franklin, so that kind of limits them to having. And I think even Pat Bryant's going to be super limited in the snaps that he can take. But isn't Pat Bryant like 6'4" as well? Like there's Pat Bryant 6'4".
6'2".
Oh, he's 6'2", but 6'2". Then you have Sutton, who's 6'4". I think like he's just a huge receiver.
Yeah.
And then you got Mims. So like in my opinion, I think it's gonna be Mims on Marcus Jones. It's gonna be Pat Bryant on Carlton Davis, and we're gonna put Gonzo on Sutton. And I think that's kind of how that's gonna go. But
they got a little Jordan Humphrey in the mix. And yes, they will. They are going to elevate Elijah Moore, who was released by the Buffalo Bills and then joined that PS.
I did find the other receiver that they elevated. So it looks like they elevated Elijah Moore to the active roster, and wide receiver Michael Bandy.
Never heard of him.
That's what I was saying. I was like, I never heard of that guy, but I know they elevated another guy.
Oh boy.
So those are two names, I guess, to look out for. I know Elijah Moore was somebody we were talking about bringing into the Patriots, like way feels like eons ago, but just like 4.5 months ago, being like, oh, he can elevate the room. It's like, geez, the room was going to get elevated regardless because of Drake May, and it's crazy to see like how this has turned out. Another thing I'm interested to see is kind of like how Drake May is going to handle some of these disguised pressure looks that the Broncos are going to put at him. And more specifically, I guess it would be the matchup between Nick Bonito and Will Campbell. Obviously, the past 2 playoff games, Will Campbell, he's held his own, but he's also looked very poor at times. Odafe Owe was the edge in the Chargers game that kept getting the better of him. And then obviously going against somebody like a Will Anderson Jr., who played probably one of the best defensive games you could have asked from a defensive edge opposite of Danielle Hunter as well. Like those guys were pretty electric, getting to the quarterback, strip sacking.
And obviously talent wasted because of shitty quarterback.
Correct. But how do you think Will Campbell holds up against Nick Bonito? And I don't want to end the question at that. I want to build upon it by also saying we're going to have to deal with a silent snap count because of being in Mile High Stadium. There's going to be so much noise sometimes where it's going to be the offense has to basically watch the ball and go off of the center, hiking it to the quarterback. Do you think that affects how Will Campbell's able to get up off the ball, react? I've also seen like the Broncos have a huge advantage with their edges in the sense that they can just watch the play clock dwindle down and they know you got to hike it soon. So they're like ready to go.
They're strategic. The difference between the Texans defense and this Broncos defense is that, yes, Texas defense, there's the most talented, but the Broncos defense are more smart savvy. Like Vance Joseph has been doing a great job with the defense, and there's no surprise why Vance Joseph is getting reconsidering for head coaching jobs at this point, because what Vance Joseph has been doing with this defensive line in particular has been really impressive. But when you think about it, I can also see Zach Allen. When we talk about Zach Allen being that factor, that could be another test for the interior offensive line, because everybody's talking about Nick Bonito. No one's talking about
Zach Allen. Yeah. Who's probably what was it I heard about Zach Allen? He's like, isn't he the sack leader of the entire league, I believe.
Currently,
Yeah.
it's Garrett.
Oh, shit. Pardon my French. I don't know why I thought. Really? No. Let me
You
just
mean-
double
Yeah,
check.
Miles
All the
Garrett
Broncos
literally broke the single
lead in
season
different-
sack record.
All the Broncos lead in sacks. All the Broncos. Like the team base, the Broncos lead in sacks.
Okay. That's what confused me. I was like, I thought I
Because
heard that
Garrett
about Zach Allen.
individually leads in sacks. If we talk about team base, it's the Broncos.
Okay.
But yeah, I think that both Nick Bonito and Zach Allen, not to mention John Franklin Myers, no friend with the Jets, and then also not to mention Jonathan Cooper. That's son of a gun.
Who?
Jonathan.
He's the
Cooper.
edge opposite of Benito. Cooper and Benito are like a really good edge duo, I think.
And then obviously you got Christian Ellis's brother being in the mix. So we're gonna see another brother. We're gonna see another brother battle because Jonah Ellis, Christian Ellis, these two will have a battle. And then not to mention they also have DJ Jones. DJ Jones. He was the guy that he was supposed to be like a free agent, but this guy has been essential because last season, in the course of 3 seasons before he got that extension with the Broncos, he recorded 122 tackles, 11 quarterback hits, 9 tackles for loss, 9 pass deflections, 5 sacks, 3 forced fumbles, and 3 fumble recoveries over the course of 3 seasons. So that defensive line that consists of Benito, Allen, DJ Jones, and Jonathan Cooper, they're going to be a test for this offensive line. But I would not be shocked if Will Campbell goes up against Jonathan Cooper, or if Nick Benito's going up against Morgan Moses. I don't know if it's switched because.
Jeez. Yeah, Will Campbell. I know we've talked about this in I think both of our previous streams. Would you sit Will Campbell for Vidarian Lowe? And I mean, that's just like, it's one of those things like, yeah, Campbell has the injury and maybe he should sit and potentially, fingers crossed, get ready for the Super Bowl. But do you really trust Lowe against that Denver defensive line? I can't say that I do. It's just like, if I can divert from the defense and Campbell here for a sec, I think the key for this game might be dinking and dunking. And that's why it's so key to have Mac Hollins back, especially when you're in the red zone. I don't think there will be anything like that booty touchdown. Yes, that was against the best defense in the league. I wouldn't bet on seeing something like that again. But I think with this very quick defensive line of the Broncos, I do want to see some. And I know May loves his deep ball. If anything, switch Wilson for Ben Brown. That is a good point, Eric. That's a very good point.
Yeah, I can see that being reasonable. But then again, Wilson has getting better. But if you want to go up against this strategical defense, I would sub Garrett Wilson. As much as I hate Vidarian Lowe, but Vidarian Lowe and Ben Brown as a duo, they look better when you think about it than the two rookies. Yeah. Then again, Vidarian Lowe has gone up against this Broncos defense before on Christmas Eve.
He is not. No. Oh, that's right. He did when we beat them. Ugh.
I still don't forget that game.
Hudge Pops. And you know he's gonna play. You know he's gonna play Campbell. Oy. I mean, May. You gotta learn to take the touchdowns, buddy. Go ahead, Doug.
The only difference is that,
I mean check downs.
Yeah. The only difference is that when we talk about the defense, the only issue for the offense from the Broncos defense is Sean Payton's play calling. That's the only thing that Zach Kerr is going to have to realize, because everybody knows on Sean Payton's play call sheet that looks like a large ass recipe, or like a large ass menu. There we go. Some of the areas he said run it. We shove the shit out of the running back. So we take a. No, he usually like writes run it on his like large ass play calling sheet, and everybody knows they're gonna run the ball, so they're gonna take advantage of it. So that's the one thing to note.
Yeah, it'll definitely be interesting to see how this offensive line for the Patriots will perform. I am part of that camp that would like to see more Campbell and Ben Brown, just because some conversations with Tyler where he was saying, Will Campbell's always benefited from having a big body, guard at the side of him that can kind of handle his own, where you're looking at Jared Wilson, who obviously is still a skilled player, but he does have a smaller frame, quite frankly, to be playing that guard position versus if he was playing center. So I don't know. I'd like to see what the development will look like this off season. Obviously, I don't think they're going to change anything moving forward with this season, at least. But yeah, I definitely think something's got to change there, because you just see it repeatedly. It happened in the Chargers game. Didn't so much happen in this Houston matchup. I feel like he cleaned some stuff up, but in the Chargers game, you saw Jared Wilson just repeatedly losing his matchups, and like Will Campbell basically trying to have to make up by maybe helping a little and trying to go back to his, or just having to be cautious. It's just
it was Jared Wilson. He had to jump on that. He had to jump on that ball to prevent what would have been that fumble 6 against the Chargers. So yeah, the left side of this O-line, they've been a liability, and I don't know.
At best, that Wilson is more of a center. He is not a left guard. I'm sorry.
I'd hate to think there's a chance that the left side of that line loses us this game, but there's a chance that they do. It's a fact.
And I'm gonna hate to say this, and I will have to say this, and I know Tyler knows what I'm talking about. We're gonna have to look into the draft to get a left guard, or look into free agency to get a left guard,
or move Campbell to guard. I'm not saying
that will ruin the confidence.
I'm not doing that. The only way
then you'd have to draft a left. Then you'd have to go dip back in for a tackle. No, that's stupid.
The only way you see Will Campbell play guard is if he's on another team. That's how much I think the Patriots believe in him.
He is not
as a
Joe
left
Tooney.
tackle.
You really? Oh, Jesus Christ.
That is another debate for another time.
Let's get away from the Patriots O-line and maybe take a look at the Denver O-line. Obviously, you have Wattenberg coming back from injury. Looks like Forsyth is either going to be demoted to out, or he's just going to be sitting on the sidelines. But it definitely looks like Wattenberg returns. I think that's huge for their offense. Obviously, he's a top center in this league. I do think the Denver Broncos are a little weak when it comes to left guard and right guard, but there's no doubt about it that their left tackle and right tackle are some of the best tackles you could see in this league. And that's where I kind of worry with, obviously we have Landry out. And it's not like he was doing anything the past couple weeks anyways, but I just hope he rests up and gets healthy, because that's the best ability is availability. I don't care how good you are. You need to be out in the field. And frankly, Harold Landry has kind of been a little bit of a letdown. Obviously, I get he's our leading sack leader, but it is disappointing to say the least. But I'm most interested in that interior matchup there, because I don't really know how much pressure our edges are going to be able to get just straight up one-on-one between Chason and I guess a combination of Jennings, Ponder on the other side now with Landry out. I don't know how much pressure they're going to be able to get past on those tackles of the Broncos, but the combination of Milton Williams, Christian Barmore, Tonga,
they got Leonard
Durden.
Taylor.
Yeah, Leonard Taylor and Durden. Like, that's a 6-man rotation that you're just like, I feel confident in all those guys to be able to stop the run, to go in there and rush the passer. Like, What is your opinion on this matchup here now in the trenches for our defense versus their offensive line?
This is going to be a huge. I would say that this is going to be a huge test for this defensive line because I don't want to hear these narratives that we're going up against a paper mache of an offensive line again because Chargers offensive line stinks. The Texans offensive line, I don't know what the hell Nick Cassera is thinking. And then the Broncos offensive line. If I look at their offensive line coach, if I can find who he is. He is his name is Zach Streif. He's the offensive run game corner who I would assume he was a former offensive guard with the New Orleans Saints. So the fact that he has experience with working with the offensive line, that's going to be huge for that, especially when he's worked under Sean Payton. But when we talk about matchups, there is no shock that you're going up against two former first rounders in Bowles and McGlinchey. Menieres, my gosh. Menieres has been consistently getting better as a right guard who used to play for UW Whitewater. I've never heard of that. I've never heard of that.
University of Wisconsin Whitewater.
But yeah, I think that Bowles and Menieres, they've been really good. They've been really good. And not to mention McGlinchey. McGlinchey has been a huge addition to that right tackle. Nobody talks about
I wanted McGlinchey.
I wanted him too because
I wanted McGlinchey. It was either I forget if it might have been Belichick's last year, of course. So we were talking Belichick then. There wasn't a snowball's chance in hell he would sign a right tackle. It was like,
and the fact that McGlinchey was drafted by the San Francisco 49ers, I wonder how it worked out with
exactly
Shanahan.
I mean, I did say big game for Chase on here.
Oh my God, McGlinchey is 6'8".
What the? He's that tall? Wow.
And 350 pounds.
That's a Trent Brown build right there.
Yeah, I did say big game for Chase on in these comments here, but yeah, I do think
Notre
point Austin about those Denver tackles.
I could see Ponder going up against McGlinchey. I'm like, holy shit! I don't know how Notre Dame is like. Notre Dame is a factory when it comes to
Notre Dame is an O-line factory. I mean, you're talking McGlinchey. You're talking one of the guys on the Colts is out in Notre Dame. Quinn Nelson.
They also got Joe Alt, he's as tall as Joe Alt.
Yeah, Joe Alt. Yeah. A tight end and tackle factory there is Notre Dame. But yeah, I like your point to Chase on about those tackles, Austin, because I mean, as we know, Milton Williams and Tonga have been game wreckers for us all season. And I think against Stidham, they'll be stepping up into that role again tomorrow afternoon.
Yeah, definitely. I do want to move on to kind of taking a quick look at the special teams. Obviously, with the difference in altitude, not only do the throws tend to go a little bit farther than you're used to, but so do the kicks. It'll be interesting to see how Andy Borregales is able to kind of field some of these kicks in this altitude. I definitely think Will Lutz here has the advantage. Will Lutz, if I remember correctly, Sean Payton coached him in New Orleans and pretty much dragged him over to the Broncos. Will Lutz is as automatic gets. I think it's very clear we're at a kicking disadvantage. It's no discredit to Andy Borregales. It's just Lutz is just money all the time. I don't know what it is about that altitude. The dude doesn't miss. It's going to be hard pressed. So I think the Broncos this game, it's going to be a lot of getting in to the red zone area, maybe fizzling out, but they're always going to take their points. I think if they had Bo Nix, they'd be a little more dangerous with it, but they're going to take their points. Marvin Mims is their returner. Obviously, we have Marcus Jones.
Next to Isaiah Williams, Marvin Mims, he's a freaking monster. I'm telling you, like, let me find his stats. Like, he is the number one among punt returners in yards, 452. Second in average, 15.6. First in explosive, 20-plus yard returns, 7 of them. So if I was Jeremy Springer, how can I counter Darren Rizzi's special teams? So if I was Jeremy Springer, I want to see more of how Brendan Schooler and maybe some of our other guys can like cover their guys and take advantage of it.
Do you have any idea who the other returner is on, not punt returns, I guess, but on kick returns? Because I do know Marvin Mims is usually out there for the kick returns as well. But I'd have to imagine it'd be a similar situation to if, like, say we were to get past the Broncos and maybe we end up going against the Seahawks, something similar to how we'd have to handle going against Shaheed, who's their star returner for both the punt and for the kick return, who's frankly lights out and runs like he's freaking the Flash. It's insane.
Punter's Jeremy Crawshaw.
It could be. So Marvin Mims
coverage
also,
contributor Sam Franklin.
He handles both kicks and punts. But
no, of course. There's usually another person back there on kick returns.
Usually it's Batty and RJ. It's RJ Harvey and Tyler Batty.
Yeah, RJ Harvey kind of scare me because I feel like Mims and Harvey are very, very fast. I think wasn't Harvey the highest 40 time? No, that was Bayshell Tootin, but Harvey's still fast. I don't know. I'm interested to kind of see what you said, Dow. What sort of strategy we maybe implement to kind of combat a team that does have an electric.
You gotta do well in punt coverage and kick coverage. Like there's nothing you could do. You gotta go at it with that. You just gotta go for it, but also not making stupid mistakes to like allow this huge opening for Marvin Mims to go at it. Because at one point the Jets, and I hate saying the Jets, but the Jets had the best special teams, and Broncos, they have like the second best special teams. Like there's no reason why Sean Payton brought in Darren Rizzi, who was the old special teams coordinator for the New Orleans Saints, who at one point was the head coach for the interim head coach for the New Orleans Saints. So there's a reason why Rizzi has been essential to Sean Payton's success.
I don't know. I'm confused, Dow. I don't see where you're getting some of these guys. I have Jaleel McLaughlin here as a punt returner.
Probably I'm using AI. I don't know. But if I were
and Sam, do you guys know anything about what's his name? Sam Franklin?
Sam Franklin?
No.
Yeah.
No. Okay, I'm looking at ESPN. It's the punt returner is Marvin Mims, but if you're talking about kick returner, it's Tyler Batty.
I have no clue. Who?
Okay.
Yeah, I got nothing. I've heard that name, but I'm seeing nothing here. I'm sorry.
Where are you looking at, Andy?
AI.
I'm looking through ESPN.
Special Teams Contributors 2025. Oh, ESPN.
It's not a huge
just not be efficient. Sometimes AI is not efficient.
Yeah. But do you think, like me, that the Broncos have like a very significant advantage in terms of special teams?
Yeah, there's a reason why the Saints were good in special teams. That's why I compare the Denver Broncos to the New Orleans Saints. They're the Denver Saints because most of the coaching staff are from the Saints. Some of the players are from the Saints. It's like this is why we should have had Patriots versus Saints back in 2018 instead of Patriots versus Rams. But that's a whole other different story. Like we would have see Bill Belichick versus Sean Payton. Like you know how Sean Payton made life hell for Tom Brady and like for so many years, and we're doing this again.
Right. Interesting. Well, since we're getting towards more of the end of our show, I think we should maybe start thinking about some predictions and maybe some predicted players of the games. Start with you, Andy.
Okay. So I think there are obviously the key matchups in this game. Let me start with the advantages. I'm going to give quarterback, pass catchers. I can't give cornerbacks. I gotta give quarterback, pass catcher, and safety to the Pats. I'm gonna give O-line, edge rusher, and cornerback to the Denver Broncos, along, like you said, Austin, probably with kicker, although I don't know much about Will Lutz. I do know who he's used to the altitude out there. Will be key matchups we already talked about. Maybe I don't know where we could put a safety in this game. I don't know. We haven't talked about that much, but I do think this is a game where, like I said, I want to see Drake May taking checkdowns, which he has gradually gotten more used to in this playoff run. No hero ball because you have an opportunistic brute there in Pat Surtain. So, yeah, I mean, I don't think we will be taking Surtain out of this game, which is why I said in the comment section here, one of the keys for the Pats offense is to bait Riley Moss, is like put, Stephon Diggs on Riley Moss and throw him open deep for like a 50-yard gain or whatever. I do think potentially defense will be the story of this game, as it was against the Chargers, as it was against Houston. So I'm going to say I think it's a close one. I'm going to say 21-19. I'm going to say, okay, no. Let me think here. 21-20 Pats. I think it's going to come down to, I know I sound cliche here, like the Texans game. It could be, I think we'll get a clutch field goal drive. I think we could get, oh geez, I gotta shake my numbers out here. 14. No, I'm gonna change the numbers. 2019 Pats game-winning field goal, like we saw against the Bills in Week 5 from Drake May. Player of the game, Hunter Henry. Because, like you, Austin, I've heard, if this Denver defense does have a weakness, it's covering tight ends. And we've seen both of our tight ends show little flashes in this playoff run, but I think, and McDaniels loves his 2 tight end sets, so I think, our player of the game could well be Hunter Henry, and we'll see him thrown open quite a bit this game. 2019 Pats.
Yeah, definitely. How about you, Dal?
For me, and there's actually, after the predictions, I want to get to this one topic that I don't think we've covered yet, but we will get to that at the very end. And this score will explain why I said so. This is going to be my past two scores have been based off of like defensive showings, but based off of what I saw, I'm going to go something similar, but I'm going to flip up that score for this specific reason. Drake May, I know I'm not going to be surprised that both quarterbacks will turn the ball over in any way or shape or form. But if I want to go be specific, this is going to be another defensive showing. Like the Patriots defense, they're having this chip on their shoulder, like all of the shit that's been going on throughout the media and hell, even through the players and the coaching staff, which is what I want to talk at the end of this show, because this is really frustrating. This topic will definitely frustrate Patriots fans, and I know that we want to clear that out of the air and why I think that this team is going to have the fuel and the energy to combat against this Broncos team. And I was thinking of saying 20-18 Patriots, but I'm going to take it a notch. I'm going to say 36-12 Patriots. Player of the I am not joking. 36-12 with Mike Vrabel having a chip on his shoulder. Stephon Diggs is gonna ball the shit out, and that's my player of the game. Stephon Diggs is gonna ball that shit out. Or if I could say Matt Collins being that X factor. We'll discuss at the end why I said so, but
I like it.
Yeah, I get all the hype behind Stidham. I can respect and appreciate Broncos fans for wanting to have faith in their team, in their backup quarterback, wanting to act as if nothing happened. Like, that's what you want a true fan to be. I truly appreciate that. And I think that's how every fan should be. You should support your team through the ups, the downs, the good, the bad. Obviously, it's a terrible situation with what happened to Bo Nix. Hopefully he's, in recovery, right? I already liked the Patriots in this matchup, and with no Bo Nix, I like it even more. I just really don't see a way where this game is like too competitive. Maybe to start to get like jitters out of the way, but I'm probably going to go with a final score of something like 32-16. I think we win by double digits. I think we just get an early lead similar to how we've won these other two playoff games and just never look back. And I think our player of the game is going to be the Ramondre Stevenson. I think
love that nickname.
think he is going to feast on this Denver Broncos defense. He's going to make it hurt to tackle him, and then it's just going to open up so much for our game. Eric did pose a question there, kind of statement. He said, "Hey, fellas, I got a quick question before you guys go. Since I'll be at the game, you want to do a quick live show tomorrow prior to the game?"
I don't know. I got mass like tomorrow, so like it will depend on like that. But if I could quickly like head back to my dorm before the snow hits, I'll give it a try, but I'm not gonna guarantee on doing a live show. But I can invite you, Eric, to join the post-game recap so we can hear your perspective at the live game, because we did that with Tyler for that Ravens game. You are invited, Eric. You can shoot me a DM and I'll send you the link for the post-game recap though. However, so
this is a cool idea. This is a cool idea though. I mean, you could do like a half hour, 40-minute prior game. Yeah.
But I'm not going to guarantee it.
Yeah, I won't guarantee it, but what I will say, Eric, and to anybody else that's watching this, I do plan on streaming the game, kind of doing a watch party tomorrow.
I'm doing that. I'm taking part of that too.
Yeah, either in the Patriots Clubhouse Discord or the Patriots Global Discord, kind of wherever we're going to get more foot traffic, and just so we can help a lot of the fans that I know. Isn't there a guy, Andy? I can't remember which one. He's like in Australia. And he doesn't always get access to the games.
Yeah, Luke Neely.
Yeah, so there's a lot of people that don't necessarily always get access to the game. So we're trying to start, streaming those games. So I'll be going live in the Pats Global Discord most likely. So please feel free to join, even if it's at halftime, to be like, "What's up, guys?" And that goes for everyone. Like, yeah, we're gonna get together. We're gonna watch this game tomorrow.
If you haven't already, scan the QR code to join the Patriots Clubhouse Discord if you haven't already, and also click the thumbs up if you haven't already, and click the subscribe button if you haven't done so. Otherwise, you get an F. And but the one thing I want to quickly discuss, and Connor mentions this, and I want to clear this out of the air because I think Colby uploaded this video too, and it has to do something with Sean Payton and the Denver Broncos taking shots at us.
Yeah, that
So-
statement was in response
So
to
who's Kayshawn Booty?
so Sean Payton came out and was like, "Yeah, our fans and players will have enough rest 2 weeks exactly till the Super Bowl." So
Yeah, right.
That explains
Man.
why I went with my 36-12 pick, because the Patriots are going to be ready as hell. We are so motivated. We have this chip on our shoulder. We all we got, we all we need. I like us. Everybody doesn't give a crap about us. We're going to beat the living shit out of you in front of all your fans. You have the audacity to limit the tickets only to closer areas in Colorado, only in the West. You're not including the Patriots from the New England, and you have the audacity to do so. We're going to we are road warriors. We're currently undefeated on the road. I am so ready for this game, Austin.
yeah, definitely. I'm super excited. My excitement chart is off the chain. I think we all need to get together though and have a little prayer circle that the power doesn't go out for us people in New England with this crazy storm that's about to blow through. I will not be able to live with myself if it's like final drive and the announcer's going, Drake May steps back. He throws the ball and it's power goes.
Austin,
Dude, I would
stop. I swear if that happens, like Drake May's about to throw a final touchdown, we get a fucking blackout. Like, I mean, the thing is, and I'm sure this, Austin, this is like this for you too. It's going to be so butt cold. It's going to be a really, really light, fluffy snow and not like the wind isn't going to be a huge factor either. So I hope that, that's not the case. But yeah, Vrabes, to your point, Dal, I mean, he obviously is not gonna, he has all the respect in the world for Sean Payton, and he's not publicly thinking it's like, oh my gosh, how dare he say that? But he's privately thinking it, and he's gonna go out. I mean, I do think it'll be a close game. Like I said, 2019. I think it'll be a close game, but there's no doubt in my mind he will have these players ready to rock and roll for tomorrow.
Oh yeah, 900%. Also, I am not gonna take shots at Nick Foles, but Jarrett Stidham is not Nick Foles. Let's just say that clearly.
You don't think so?
I don't
Interesting.
think so.
No, Nick Foles came in and like started week 13 or week 11. Had a whole half a season to play, plus playoffs.
Started since 2023.
And here's Stid being thrown right into the fire in a championship game. So
yeah, and also Josh McDaniels knows Jarrett Stidham inside and out.
Correct. Yeah,
definitely, guys. Well, tomorrow the Patriots aren't chasing style points; they're chasing a ticket. Win in Denver, and you punch your way into the Super Bowl down in the Bay. This has been the MayeFlower Voyage, presented by Patriots Clubhouse. And we'll see you on the other side, Pats fans.
Yeah! Patriots Nation, let's ride. Subscribe, click like, share this with your friends. Scan this QR code to join the Patriots Clubhouse Discord server. And as always, ladies and gentlemen, go Pats.
Let's go Pats.
Let's ride.